Turning now to Benghazi, questions still remain unanswered, but one organization called Special Operations Speaks is applying some political pressure, putting up some very controversial billboards, asking Congress to create a special committee to investigate the attack. Joining us now to discuss this strategic move is Political Director for Special Operations Speaks, Larry Ward. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So your organization, Special Operations Speaks, claims that House Speaker John Boehner is directly impeding the creation of a special committee to investigate Benghazi. Why do you think he's doing that?
Well, you know what? You'd have to ask him exactly why he's doing it. His statements are very clear. He thinks that he can handle the investigation through the 5 standing committees, and we think he's wrong. The 5 standing committees, they don't have the appropriate subpoena power to subpoena the level of intelligence that's needed, and the members of those committees don't have the requisite clearances to read those documents. So in terms of what we're talking about, all we're going to wind up with in these standing committees and this oversight committee is a bunch of redacted documents and stonewalling from the administration. A select committee can have the subpoena power and have members with the requisite clearance to read them and then actually take some action to get to the truth and get justice for the Benghazi.
What is your take? What is your opinion on what the truth is? What can you explain the particulars, you explain the protocols. Can you tell me, can you share with me some details that you hope a special committee could uncover that Congress cannot?
Well, you know, it's really difficult to say because there have been so many conflicting stories. There's stories about gun running. There's stories about missile running. There's stories about, there are some stories about a kidnapping. There's stories about this. It doesn't really matter.
But what do you believe, sir?
Well, I think there was probably some gun running. I think there probably could have been some missile running. There's a lot of different reasons why it happened. But most importantly, we need to know who was responsible, who gave the stand-down order, who left our men there to die. That's more important to us. And also, why the cover-up? Why is the CIA polygraphing its employees?
So these billboards that we referenced in our introduction to you are placed in House Speaker John Boehner's district, and they essentially suggest that if 4 Congress people were killed, then the investigation would be much more in the front burner.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, and it's sad to say, but it's the truth. And we just want to get that into the head of Congress. So our goal is to reach 218 or 1. We need 218 members of Congress to sign the Stockman discharge petition, which is House Resolution 306. Or we need 1 Speaker of the House to come to his senses. And there's 166 members that have already signed on to House Resolution 36, which is to form a select committee. And John Boehner has stood in the way of that select committee. He could form it immediately. So what we're doing right now is we're saying to all 166 of those members, you have a moral obligation to follow up on what you believe, what you said you believe by co-sponsoring H.R. 36, House Res 36. To form the select committee, and we're begging you, we're imploring to you, please sign the Stockman discharge petition so we can get the select committee. And at the same time, I'm going to say something right now. I think John Boehner should come out. We're having a rally. There's a bunch of groups having a rally on 9/11 on the Capitol. And I'd like to invite John Boehner to come out and speak to America and to tell us either he's going to form the select committee or why he's not going to form the select committee. Let's get to the bottom.
And to your point, it's been exactly 1 year, coming on very close to the 1-year anniversary of Benghazi. One more question. The 4 State Department officials put on administrative leave following the attacks have been given their jobs back. How do you feel about that? Do you think that was an appropriate move by the Secretary of State?
Absolutely not. It's deplorable. I mean, who's going to be, in this administration, who's accountable for anything, especially for the people who put their lives on the line in these foreign countries who expect to be protected by the U.S. government. And when they're not, nobody's held accountable, and the Secretary of State says, what difference does it make in front of Congress?
Larry Ward, thank you for sharing your opinion, your analysis, and we'll check back with you again soon. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.